For those who would rather not be injured by sharp knives, here's a suggestion for some relatively safe knives to have in your kitchen at home. This is my selection of kitchen knives, and none of them either has a sharp point or a sharp edge, but they're quite capable of doing every job that I need. One of the most useful is the good old-fashioned Sheffield tea knife, which has got a rounded edge but a thin blade, so it will actually cut through most soft items like cooked food or vegetables. Another one is, again, no sharp edge that you could actually hurt your fingers on, and no point on it, but it's just useful for testing food items to see if they're cooked through. One with a very slight serrated edge to it, and again, no sharp point on it, but just a little serrated edge, but not a very sharp serrated edge, one which will not immediately cut through your finger, but which is sharp enough to cut through the slice of a tomato, for example, without any objection. And this is a newer knife, one which I bought new recently, and that did come with a very sharp edge on it, although it's good that it hasn't got a sharp point. But if I just take my other knives out of the way, I can show you what to do with a sharp knife. If it's too sharp as you buy it, you get a little sharpening stone like that, and rather than trying to sharpen it, you just run the edge of the blade across it like that. However, put a little bit of oil on it to lubricate it actually, and just run the edge of the knife and just feel it gently until you can feel that it's gone dull enough to still be able to cut the food products that you want to cut, but it isn't going to cut your finger. So let me just demonstrate. Here's the good old Sheffield tea knife, as good as anything else, and so easy to slice a carrot. You couldn't get it done more easily than that, and yet you've got a knife in the kitchen there, which isn't going to do any damage to anybody. And the same with a potato. If I just put the I'm just trying to get a good angle on the camera here, but if you just put the potato, there's another tip here, if you want potato to cook quickly in about 10 minutes rather than sort of half an hour or so, the best thing to do is to slice it into fairly thin slices, like so. And again, the old-fashioned Sheffield tea knife is the champion, because it will cut anything, because it's got a thin blade. The reason a lot of sharp blades don't cut very well is because the blade has a tapered cross section, which means as you're cutting, you're trying to force the two halves of the cut apart, so you're not actually gaining the benefit of the sharp blade. But there you are. And the same applies to cutting pieces of meat. That cooked meat or anything, any cooked food, even if it's a little bit tough, you don't need anything sharper than that. You don't need a knife which is sharp enough to run rampant down the street and frighten all the neighbours. So that's my tip for today.